What's up, fellow adult collectors? Welcome to SeViLion Collectibles. In this video, I'll be reviewing the Storm Collectibles Doomsday figure based on his appearance in DC's Injustice Gods Among Us video game from Netherrealm Studios. Doomsday is brand new for 2020, and it has seen some delays due to this year's circumstances. However, now it is starting to show up in some US locations. At the time of this recording, many online stores are still processing pre-orders, but soon hereafter, it should become widely available across the board. If this is your first time landing on my channel, hi, my name is SeViL, and here I like to discuss action figures and other collectibles based on my favorite movies, TV shows, and video games. If you find this video enjoyable or informative, please give me a thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe, and hit that notification bell. So I'm going to start showing Doomsday off with a good, slow up and down look at both the front and back. Just in case you can't tell from here, Doomsday is massive. He is easily one of the largest and heaviest figures that I own. Doomsday is one of those characters that I've always kind of felt like the available action figures didn't really do it justice. If the figure looked good, it wasn't really big enough. If it was the right size, it didn't really look all that good. So when I learned that Storm Collectibles had gotten the Injustice license, and that Doomsday would be a part of that, I immediately thought we may finally have the right answer. So now, it's finally time to see if that's really the case. So far, Doomsday does look phenomenal, with most of the details from the video game interpretation being brought straight out. Some people may think that the head is a little too small for the body, but really, that's how it was in the game, so I'm okay with that. Also, keep in mind that camera angles can make a difference, making some things appear larger than they really are just because of how close they are to the camera. Doomsday is certainly one of those cases where judging it based on pictures and videos may not be anywhere close to actually having it in your hand. The sculpt work and textures, the paint and other colors are all just totally immaculate. The texture of the body feels like it could be skin. The bony protrusions are solid and potentially sharp. The claws are smoother and even more filed down than the bone. The pants, the buckles, everything has its own independent texture to it. The attention to detail Storm has put in here on Doomsday is nothing short of phenomenal. With the exception of one piece, the hair braid on the back of his head. It's black here, when instead it should be white, similar to the color of his bone. With every interpretation of Doomsday, he's always had white hair. Even in the Injustice game, it was just a long white braid. However, most of the time from the front, you won't even see it, so it's not really a big enough deal for me to dock any points off for it. Moving on down to the rest of his body though, all of the sculpt and paint detail that I spoke of on the front definitely still apply to the back. You can really see just how monstrous Doomsday actually is. As far as the overall aesthetics of this figure are concerned, Doomsday absolutely exceeds most of my expectations. For accessories, Doomsday does get an alternate head where the expression is a little more angry and the mouth is a bit more open. Doomsday also gets 2 extra pairs of hands, with one set being in sort of a grip position and the other set being more of an open palm position. For the purpose of going through the articulation though, I'm going to go back to the fist hands. Just in case you're unaware before I start the articulation, Storm Collectibles figures are almost always built with a soft rubber piece for the upper torso, which really helps the articulation do its thing. With that said, the head is on a double-ended peg, which gives it a wide range of up and backwards movement, as well as forward and looking down. Of course, it does also have full rotation side to side. The shoulders can spin all the way around, as well as move outward, plus there are butterfly joints for extended motion front to back. The biceps do have full rotation, and the elbows are double jointed, but because of the massive size of the arms, they can only go so far. The wrists also have full rotation, and the pegs do offer a decent range of up and down movement. The torso is built on 2 separate ball joints, one underneath the chest and one at the waistline, which creates a wide range of back and forth movement as well as full rotation at each piece. The center ab area can be entirely independently rotated. The hips can spread out pretty far, and yes, this is Doomsday holding a wrestling style super kick position all on his own. One of my favorite things about Storm is just how well balanced these figures are, no matter their size. Doomsday can also kick front to back really well, but I am cheating on this one and holding Doomsday in place. Doomsday's knees are also double jointed, but again, the massive size of the figure does somewhat limit how far they can go. The thigh joint and the hip does offer some rotation, and the ankle does have a full range of pivot motion, plus there is a toe joint. With the way all the inner workings of the articulation is constructed, moving it all around can make some things come out of alignment, but with a little extra effort, you can get it all straightened back out. Now I'll help you understand just how massive Doomsday really is. The top of his head measures in at just under 10 inches tall. The best figure he can be compared to for scaling is Bane, because that was the first Injustice figure from Storm Collectibles. Doomsday is most certainly taller than Bane, and therefore fits in appropriately. Doomsday is also quite a bit taller than Goro from Mortal Kombat, which, up to this point, had been the largest figure I owned. Speaking of Mortal Kombat, here are Scorpion and Cyrax, which are more the average size of a typical Storm figure. Of course, the main character that needs to go alongside Doomsday is Superman. Both of these are from Mattel, with the Injustice 1 version being on the left, and the Injustice 2 version being on the right. However, these do seem a bit too small to go alongside Doomsday, therefore, probably the best one to work with them would be the recent Action Comics 1000 Superman. And in case you're curious about how other brands might compare to him, here are the Hasbro Marvel Legends Hulk and Spider-Man, along with the Ghostbuster and the Mandalorian. Then from NECA, I have Jason Voorhees and Raphael, but if the Power Rangers want to get involved, they might as well call the Megazord immediately. So, with all that said, it's time to run this Storm Collectibles Injustice Doomsday through my guidelines for a complete and fair review. This is a brand new sculpt that is highly detailed and incredibly accurate to this interpretation of the character. It is in scale with the rest of the line, it does have more than 20 points of articulation, and it balances incredibly well. It does include a handful of accessories, and the roughly $100 price point is fair for such a massive figure. I didn't experience any quality control issues with my Doomsday, and they should be widely available across most online stores very soon. Therefore, leading my final score to a perfect 10 out of 10 stars, meaning it is flawless and one of the best action figures of all time. I've stated numerous times in the past that Superman is my overall favorite fictional character. However, I don't think that I've ever mentioned that Doomsday actually is my favorite villain. So, that might make my opinion a little bit biased. I have owned some Doomsday figures in the past, like the original Kenner one, as well as some of the Mattel figures, but like I said in the beginning of the video, I didn't really think they were up to par. This Doomsday blows absolutely every figure before it out of the water. Therefore, if you're a fan of the Doomsday character at all, the Storm Collectibles Injustice version is absolutely worth adding to your collection.